go ahead and get into a comfortable position, whatever that means for you. Sitting up nice and tall, just finding your sits bones, so rocking back and forth. Stacking your spine right above the hips. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and lift through the crown of your head up. If you're comfortable to close your eyes, otherwise find a soft gaze at the ground. We'll just take a moment in stillness with our eyes closed. Just starting to notice the space around you. Starting to notice the rhythm of your breath. And even noticing any place you hold tension in your body. So start by relaxing the muscles in your face. Relax your arms. Unclench your hands, wiggle the fingers, and soften them back to your lap. Soften the area around your heart. Soften the belly. And we'll take a couple of deep breaths into the belly. So on your next inhale, expand the belly like a balloon. Your exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, contract. As you're inhaling, imagining your lungs filling up with air. Exhaling completely out. Keeping the belly soft with each inhale. Start to bring in your Ujjayi breath. Light constriction on the back of your throat, the same you use when you fog a mirror. Drawing your breath in, recreating that same light constriction. When you're comfortable with this breath, seal your lips closed and move the breath gently in and out of your nose. Just being aware of each inhale going to the natural length, each exhale. And as we start to focus on our practice, the mind will start to drift off into other things that we need to do today or something that may have happened yesterday. So each time that happens, just recognize that thought. Direct your thoughts to your breath by either saying in on the inhale, out on the exhale, or simply counting each breath in and out. Again, as the thoughts come through, it's okay to have our thoughts, so long as we're not attaching and letting them go off and building onto other thoughts. So just redirecting yourself right back to your yoga practice every time. We'll continue this breath through the whole yoga practice. Giving our muscles fresh oxygen, keeping us in that parasympathetic nervous system state, that calm, rest and digest. And if you like, you can keep your eyes closed, and on your next breath in, sweep your arms out to the sides of your body, up to the sky, and bring your palms up to touch. As you exhale, gently float your hands down, palms face your mat. Inhale, lift through the sides of the body and the spine up. Exhale, slowly release your arms to your sides. On your next inhale, reach arms and up. Interlace your hands and flip your palms up to the ceiling, keeping the length in the sides of the body. Chin parallel, just reaching the palms up. Separate your hands, palms face each other. Bend your right elbow and bring your hand right between the shoulder blades. Left hand to the right elbow. Draw your shoulder blades back towards the spine and down the back. If you like the variation to take your left hand behind your back, you can either take the 2 fingers to grab or use a strap if needed in the right hand. And just working the left hand up as much as you can. Again, keeping that upper back engaged. Keeping an openness through the heart center. Your next inhale, raise your arms overhead, palms face each other. Exhale, bend your left elbow hand right between the shoulder blades. Either right hand to the left elbow, or if you like the variation, hands behind the back. You can always use a strap to assist if hands don't clasp together. You can always just hold on to the back of your shirt as well. Your next inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, open your arms out wide. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend your elbows internally, rotate as you bring your hands behind your back to clasp. Starting with a bend to the elbows, just work the shoulder blades in and down. And as you start to feel comfortable straightening your elbows, knuckles can remain onto your sacrum, or you may start to walk the knuckles away towards the back wall. You can also use a strap here if you want to take a little bit wider of a stance with your hands. Maybe that feels a little more accessible if you have some tight shoulders. Keeping the face relaxed. Tops of the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll take a deep breath in, open the arms out wide. Exhale, cross your right arm over left. Big hug either with the palms at the backs of the shoulders or backs of the hands together to touch, or palms for eagle arms. Draw your chin in towards your chest. Relax the back of your neck. Softening the upper back muscles. Take a deep breath in, open your arms out. Exhale, cross your left arm over right. Either big hug here or taking your variation to eagle arms, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, open your arms out. Bringing your right hand down to your mat. Inhale, lift through the left side of your body. Exhale, bend your right elbow, sweeping the left fingertips over. Seeing if you can keep this expansion through the lateral side of the body and the chest. So drawing that left shoulder blade back a little bit. And find your gaze where it's most comfortable. So maybe down at your right thumb, maybe straight ahead, or maybe up towards the ceiling. You can even make this a little bit of a movement if you like. So inhaling to get length, exhaling. If that feels a little bit better versus staying stagnant. One more breath here. On your inhale, come up. We'll cross the left hand onto the right knee for spinal twist. Walk your right fingertips behind you as you take a deep breath in, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, rotating from the torso. And maybe your gaze is towards your right shoulder. Your next inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, place your left hand down. Inhale, length through the right. And exhale, bending the left elbow, sweeping the right arm over. And seeing if you can maybe spiral the rib cage a little bit here so you open through the heart center. You can make this a little bit of a flow if that feels better versus staying stagnant. Find your gaze that's most comfortable in the neck. Keeping the sits bones grounded onto your yoga mat. One more breath here. Inhale, come up. Exhale to spinal twist, right hand to left knee, left fingertips walk behind you. Lifting up nice and tall. And exhale, rotating from the core of the body. One more deep breath in. Exhale, unwinding, making our way into our tabletop position. Shoulders right over your wrists, hips right over your knees, tuck your back toes, straight gaze down at your yoga mat. And take a deep breath in, cow pose, letting the belly soften down, lifting the sacrum up. Exhale, cat, drawing the tailbone under, chin tucks into the chest. Inhale, soften belly down, letting the shoulder blades go back towards the spine. Exhale, separating the shoulder blades, feeling that expansion through the back body. Inhale, lower belly down, soften. Exhale as you contract and draw in. We'll come back to a neutral spine. Coming into our child's pose, big toes together to touch, either knees together or walk them out. As you take your glutes onto your heels, walk your hands out in front of you, shoulder distance apart, keeping the elbows and triceps off of the ground if you can. So taking a few deep breaths here, feeling that expansion of the belly, each inhale. And maybe each exhale, you're just melting a little bit closer into the yoga mat. Couple of deep breaths here. Your next inhale, come back up to tabletop position, hands and knees, shoulders right over the wrists. And we'll take a little bit of our moving, balancing tabletop here. Extend your right arm out in front of you in line with your ear. Left leg kicks back. We're going to lift the toes off of the yoga mat, heel up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release your right palm and left toes back to the yoga mat. Inhale, reach and extend in opposite directions. Exhale, release back down. One more time, inhale. And exhale, release down. We're going to come to the opposite side, so bringing the right leg back, coming up onto the right toes. Extend the left arm out in front. Lift your right toes off of the mat, squeezing the glute and hamstring. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, engage. Exhale down. We're going to do that again on the opposite side. This time we're going to keep our right hand on the yoga mat. Extend your left leg out. Bend your left knee so that the heel comes up. And we're just going to either pulse here, so you're just pulsing up. And if you'd like to try, you can keep your left palm on the shoulder, reach around, taking that right hand to the outside edge of the foot, taking a little bit of a back bend. So two options here, either pulsing and lifting the leg, or maybe giving that a try to reach around, getting a little bit of a back bend. One more inhale. Exhale, lower everything back down. We're going to take that on the opposite side. So lifting the right foot back, bending the right knee, and you're either pulsing here, taking the heel up towards the ceiling. Maybe you'd like to keep the right palm on the mat, taking your left hand back behind, taking a little bit of a back bend. It might be helpful to keep the left toes tucked here. So just see how that feels. We'll take one more breath in, and exhale, release everything down. Now two options here, either coming back to child's pose or puppy dog. So puppy dog, walking your hands out in front of you, taking a deep breath in, lengthening the sides of the body. And exhaling, resting your heart down. Now, if you've taken puppy dog and this feels really good, and you'd like to try a little bit more of a stretch in the triceps, you can take your blocks to where your triceps will be, just above the elbow, bending your elbows and bringing your thumb to the nape of your neck. That's just an option here. You can always come back into child's pose if either one of these is a little too intense. One more full breath here. And slowly coming back, palms on the ground, back into tabletop position. Then we're going to walk the hands out in front until we come all the way down to the yoga mat. Bring your arms out alongside you and bend your elbows just like a cactus here. Keep your neck neutral so that you're always looking down at your yoga mat. And we're just going to lift with the upper body. So we're going to take an inhale, lift and engage the upper back. And exhale, lower back down. As we lift, lengthen through the spine, reach up. Exhale, coming back down. Inhaling, pressing the 10 toenails into the ground. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale and lift. Exhale, back down. Good. We'll come back into our tabletop position. So hands right under the shoulders. Come back to the knees. We'll go into our first downward facing dog. So lifting the knees off of the mat, tailbone up to the sky, starting with a bend to your knees here. And starting to lengthen through the sides of the body and the spine as you lift your tailbone up. We should be in an inverted V position here. So if you need to, bend the knees a little bit more, walk the toes a little closer to the wrists. If you feel good, you can start to paddle out the feet back and forth. So again, we should feel this length in the sides of the body, not having our handstand stance with the hands. So if you start to feel like your shoulders are directly over the wrists, start to reach the tailbone back, bringing the arms at an angle. Your next inhale, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet right behind your wrists, bend your knees forward, fold. So option is stay right here, or option to hold on to the opposite elbows. Give yourself a little sway side to side. Keep your chin tucked in towards your chest, lengthening the neck. Keeping the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. By coming back to neutral, reach your fingertips to the yoga mat. Heel toe feet together to touch. Keeping the knees bent as you inhale, slowly come all the way to stand. Big toes together to touch. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Press your palms to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, bend your elbows. Engage your upper back muscles. Good. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, just like those cactus arms. One more time. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, bend and engage. Good. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. We're going to move through our classical sun salutes here. So next, inhale, reach your arms in front of you up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Tucking your right toes, right knee gently lowers down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big toes touch the back of the mat, coming into your inverted V position. Inhale, forward to plank, shoulders right over your wrists. Exhale, lower down to your knees. Bend your elbows, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Toes are tucked, upper thighs active off of the mat. Exhale back to your knees, downward facing dog. Step your left foot top of the mat, right knee lowers down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, toes to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms overhead and up. Exhale, hands back to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Step your left leg back, lowering the left knee down. Right knee over the ankle, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, hugging in the rib cage and the core. Inhale, forward to plank, one straight line with the body. Exhale, over to your knees, bend your elbows, chest, chin to your mat. Inhale, cobra, activating triceps and upper back. Exhale, knees, downward facing dog. Right foot top of the mat, left knee lowers down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, option to come through knees or just straight to downward facing dog. Left leg top of the mat, right knee down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, low lunge, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, either through knees or straight to down dog. Right leg top of the mat, left knee down, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg back, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg top of the mat, right knee down, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg top of the mat, left knee down, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hands back to your heart. Mountain pose, arms to the sides of your body. Lifting up tall, crown of the head. Either closing your eyes or soft gaze at the ground. Begin to shift your weight forward into the fronts of your toes. Back into your heels. And find the center of your feet. Shift slightly to the left edge of your foot. The right. And return back to the center of your feet. Pressing firmly into the feet, engage your legs, glutes, abdominals, chest and back. Engage your arms as you reach your fingertips firmly to the ground. Whole body is active and engaged as you lengthen and deepen your breath. Finding one more breath cycle here. And your exhale, pressing your palms to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward, hands come through heart center. Inhale halfway, palms to your shins, lengthen your spine, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step to plank, hold here in your plank position. I'll give you the modification first as you're holding plank. So modification is to come to knees, tabletop, moving to child's pose, back to tabletop. Otherwise, we're going to stay in our plank, one more inhale. And exhale, coming to downward facing dog. Big toes stay together. Inhale, forward to plank. Make sure you're holding the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Again, modification is to come to knees, do child's pose. Continue here. Inhale, tuck under the tailbone, hug in the core. Exhale to down dog. One more time. Inhale to plank, strong back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach right leg up and back. Exhale, draw knee to the belly button. Inhale, kick your right leg back. Exhale, warrior two. See if you can glue that knee as close to the body as you can before stepping up to the top of the mat. Spin your left foot across, coming into your warrior two. Just taking a moment, making sure the lower half structure is good. Knee over the ankle, knee going towards the pinky edge of the foot. Hips in line, tucking under the tailbone. Hugging in the core as you lift tall through the crown of the head. Finding your gaze either beyond right fingertips or maybe even closing your eyes for a moment. Reconnecting back to that stillness, that present moment on your yoga mat. Every once in a while, checking in with the structure of the legs. One more inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle. Right forearm to the right thigh. Sweep your left arm up and over your ear. So taking a moment again, making sure you have that nice lunge in the right leg. That the right shoulder is really strong as you're pressing your forearm into your thigh. For an added challenge, you can either stay here or reach that right arm so that both biceps are parallel with the ears. If this hurts the low back at any point, come back to step one. Really strong core here, really strong back. Take another inhale. Exhale back to warrior two. One more inhale. Exhale, frame your right foot, step back to plank. We're going to take that movement again here, so holding here. Exhaling back to down dog, option to come to knees, child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Exhale back. One more inhale forward. Exhale back to down dog. Take an inhale with the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to the belly button. Inhale, extend the leg back. And as you exhale, see if you can glue that knee close to the body before stepping to the top of the mat, warrior two. Taking your time to get set up here. Checking in with the hips if you need to take a little shorter stance if the hips are not as open right now. Extending the arms out to the sides of the body, tops of the shoulders away from the ears. And feeling that expansion through the front body by imagining you're holding a pencil between the shoulder blades. Keeping that nice lunge in the left leg every once in a while, checking the structure. Really engaging the outer left thigh, gluteus medius. Pressing the right edge of the foot into the mat. And continuing to let that ujjayi breath flow. We're going to take one more inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. So left forearm to the top of the left thigh, sweeping the right arm up and over the ear so the bicep is almost touching the ear here. Nice. Now, extra added challenge if you like, taking that left arm off of the thigh, extending it in line with the ear. Just an option. You can always come back to extended side angle. If this hurts the back in any way, bring it back. Couple of breaths here, really strong. Good. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, freeing your top foot. Good. We're going to take another inhale here. And as you exhale, lower down to your knees. Back to tabletop position. We're going to come into a forearm plank. So bringing the forearms down to the ground, shoulder distance apart, and then lifting one knee at a time off of the yoga mat. See if you can get the hips level with the yoga mat, and see if you can get the backs of the shoulders level with your hips. So really squeezing in the core, always an option to lower back to the knees, come into child's pose. Holding really strong here. Two options, either come back to knees, downward facing dog, or if you'd like to try dolphin, start to walk the toes in closer like you would come into down dog, except that the forearms are on the ground versus the palms. So if dolphin is not accessible today, just come back to your knees, press onto the palms, down dog, or even child's pose. Otherwise, we're holding dolphin just another 2 breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, lower to your knees. If you're in child's pose, come back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, reach right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to the belly button. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, high lunge. So again, seeing if you can glue that knee as close to the body as possible before stepping to the top of the mat, coming into your high lunge. Arms forward and up to the sky. Taking a couple breaths here, making sure knees stacked right over the ankle. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open the arms out wide. Inhale, sweep forward and up. Exhale, out. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, out. 2 options, either reach arms back overhead or interlace hands behind your back. Taking a moment here with elbows bent, shoulders in towards the spine and down, and eventually straightening the arms. You should feel an engagement in the upper back, stretch in the chest. Should not be feeling this in the elbows. If you are, just give the elbows a little bit more of a bend. Couple more breaths here, really sinking into that front leg. We're going to take the arms overhead, and then exhale, hands to hips. We're going to step into a chair. So we're going to take a big step with that left foot top of the mat, coming into our chair pose, sinking down. Either arms reach overhead, or you can take your hands to your heart and take a twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Just an option here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And making sure you're sinking down a little lower in the hips, glutes closer to the ground. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, reach your fingertips to the ground. Separate your feet hip width apart. Grab onto your big toes. Your index and middle finger under the toe, thumb on top. Bending the elbows out to the sides of your body. Maybe the knees are really bent here. Or maybe you're able to straighten them a little bit, getting a deep hamstring stretch. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release your hands from your toes. Heel toe feet together to touch. Inhale, come up halfway, palms to your shins. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to your plank. Hold here. And gently lower down to the knees. So again, you're either coming into child's pose or you're trying out our forearm plank. So coming down to each forearm, hands are shoulder distance apart, and one knee at a time comes off of the yoga mat and coming into your plank. So maybe you're even just staying onto one knee or trying half, and then switching out the knees halfway through. Tucking under the tailbone here, engaging the upper back muscles, and those transverse abdominals, so that corset that wraps around the rib cage. We're really hugging those muscles in. So option to come back to knees, take it to child's pose or down dog, or option to take that dolphin variation where you're lifting the hips up, tailbone up, walking the toes in. So we're coming into a downward facing dog stance, but we're just on our forearms. If this becomes a little too intense, you gave it a try, you can always come back down to your knees, come up to the palms, and take your down dog. So we still want to make sure that we're getting our shoulders away from the ears. Taking one more inhale. Exhale, gently lower down to your knees. Come back up to the palms. Downward facing dog. Inhale, reach left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to the belly button. Inhale, kick your left leg back. Exhale, high lunge. See if you can keep that knee glued to the body the whole time. Step it to the top. Coming up into your high lunge. Left knee tracks right over the ankle. Squeeze your right quadricep. Arms reach overhead. Biceps in line with the ears. Shoulder blades down the back. See if you can tuck the tailbone slightly here. As you inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, open the arms out wide. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, open out. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, out. Two variations. Either reach arms back overhead or interlace your hands behind your back. Starting with a bend to the elbows, draw the shoulder blades in and down. Eventually straightening the arms. Again, you shouldn't feel this in the elbows. You feel this in the upper body here. One more breath here. Good. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your hips as we're going to step to that chair. So big step up. If you need to take a couple of hops with that right leg, all the way in the chair. Sitting in your seat, hands at your heart. And reaching arms overhead or taking that twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. See if you can get the glutes down a little lower towards the yoga mat. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Separate your feet hip width apart. option to grab for the big toes, or if you really love that chest stretch, interlace your hands behind your back, reaching knuckles away. This time we're able to control that a little bit more, get a little bit more in the upper back. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release your fingertips down to the mat. Heel toe feet together to touch. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. Now option to come through a Chaturanga Dandasana here, lowering halfway. Before coming all the way down to the yoga mat, your belly to the mat, come up to upward facing dog, toes touch the ground. So your hip bones are off of the yoga mat. One more inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take an inhale, reach right leg up and back. Exhale, coming into low lunge. Step your right foot to the top of the mat, lowering left knee down. If you need to, blanket underneath the left knee. And just have your blocks nearby. Inhale, raising the arms overhead. This time we're going to bend the elbows and maybe the thumbs touch either the triceps or the tops of the shoulders here. Well, that's your biceps rather. Inhale, lifting the arms overhead. Exhale, bending the elbows. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, this time either keeping the arms overhead or palms to touch. Bend the elbows and maybe the thumbs touch the nape of the neck, just like we did in our puppy dog variation. Couple breaths here, keeping the chest open. See if you can continue to tuck under the tailbone, getting this stretch in the left thigh. Hip flexors opening up. Always an option to just reach the arms back overhead. Take one more breath here. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to come into our half splits. Use your blocks either side of your right leg. Straighten your right leg as you flex the toes in towards the shin. And then just taking a moment here. So our cow pose, when we tilt the pelvis back, the tailbone back. Straightening the right leg, keeping the upper back engaged. Taking your inhale. As your exhale, just allowing gravity to assist you into the forward fold. So if it compromises your back and causes you to have a roundness or a hunch, just come back up. Only go as far as that feels okay in the right hamstring and the right glute. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, come into lizard lunge. So right foot comes down to your yoga mat. Heel toe the right foot to the top corner of your yoga mat. And let your left toe slide back to the back edge. You've either used your blocks to come underneath your palms, shoulders stacked right over your palms. Maybe you'd like to come down to your forearms. Or maybe you'd like to try out a quadricep stretch, having your strap on the arch of your left foot, reaching back, holding onto the strap and drawing the left heel towards the glute. Maybe you don't need the strap, you just hold onto the outside edge of the foot. So the quadricep stretch is just an option here. Either way, keep the tailbone tucking under so you feel that stretch in the quadricep and the left hip flexor. So keeping that space open here. One more full round of breath. If you've taken to your quadricep stretch, gently lower your left foot down. Come back up to your palms. Come back to tabletop position. If you have your blocks, just move them off to the side for a moment. Continuing our upper back strength here, we're going to come into tricep push-ups. So walking the hands out just a little bit further ahead. Tuck under your tailbone, lengthen the sides of your body. And then on your exhale, lower all the way or halfway down, just as far as you can go before coming back up. Inhaling, pushing the ground away, coming back up. Exhaling, bending the elbows, lowering as far as you can. Keep going here, keeping the tailbone slightly tucked, the back straight, really engaging the triceps each time you press the mat away. One more time. And we'll come back to our tabletop. Keep your hands as they are. Downward facing dog. Lift the toes, lift the tailbone. Inhale, reach left leg up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. Lower your right knee down. Have your blocks on either side of your foot ready to go. Right toes can be tucked or untucked here. Extend arms overhead. So just checking in with the structure here. Inner thighs engaged, left knee tracking so that you can still see your left toes. We're going to take that movement by bending the elbows here. So bending the elbows, thumbs, maybe they reach, maybe they don't. Inhale, lift overhead. Exhale, bending elbows, see where the thumbs go. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows. This time, inhale, reach the arms overhead. You can either keep them here or palms together to touch. Bend the elbows, see if you can get the thumbs to touch the nape of the neck. Keeping the tailbone tucked under, stretching that hip flexor. Might have just a tiny bit of a back bend here. Take an inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Moving into our half splits, use your blocks on either side of your left leg. Straighten your left leg as you flex the toes towards the shin. Right toes can stay tucked or untucked. Having that cow tilt of the pelvis here, back is engaged. Inhale. And as you exhale, just maybe draw the chin in towards the chest. Soften the back of the neck. Letting gravity get you into that forward fold. So again, if you're really rounding or hunching the back to get into that forward fold, it's more helpful to lift up, keep the back engaged, and then continue to tilt the hip back so that you feel that stretch in the hamstring. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lizard lunge. So allow that left foot to come down to the mat. Use your blocks on the inside of the left foot. Heel toe left foot to the top corner of your yoga mat. Sliding the right toes back. And again, you're either staying onto your blocks, shoulders right over your wrists. Maybe you're coming down to the forearms. Or maybe you'd like to try that quadricep stretch. Right hand remains on the ground as you bend the right knee, taking the left hand to the outside edge of the right foot. Using a strap if needed, if you can't make that connection here. And again, just reminding yourself to tuck under the tailbone. So now we're having that cat tilt here so that you open up the psoas, the hip flexor, muscles that usually contract and tighten throughout the day if we're sitting in a chair. Some of us, that might be a little bit uncomfortable as it opens up and stretches. So just taking one more inhale. And exhale, if you come into that quad stretch, gently lower your right foot down, come back up to your palms. Tabletop position, we're going to take those tricep push-ups once again. Moving the blocks off to the side, walking the hands out just a little bit further ahead. Tuck under the tailbone, squeeze the core, lengthen the sides of the body. Exhale as you bend the elbows, lower as far down as you can. Inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower. Inhale, push up. Continue here again, keeping the tailbone tucked, keeping length in the sides of the body. Back is engaged. Triceps working. One more. So you come all the way up. We'll move into our downward facing dog. So lifting the knees off of the mat and pedaling out the feet. And inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, half pigeon, bend your right knee, sweep to the top of the mat. Let your left toes come all the way back. And two options here. You can either start to fold over the top of the leg, or you can stay upright and just taking a few breaths here as you feel an even deeper stretch in that hip flexor here. Couple of breaths. If you need to, you can always have a blanket between your left thigh and the yoga mat. Maybe you need a block underneath your right glute muscle or a blanket. And if you've come upright, you want to lower, you can do that as well. We're going to take one more full breath here in our pigeon. So if you lower it all the way down, just come back up to your palms. From your palms, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, bend your right knee. And you can either stay here, or if you'd like, you can try out Wild Thing. Letting the right foot come down, bending the right knee as the left leg is straight, reaching the right arm overhead, lifting the hips up. So just an option. One more inhale. Exhale, moving back to downward facing dog. Inhale, reach left leg up and back. Exhale, half pigeon, bending your left knee, sweep to the top of the mat. Letting the right toes slide back. You're either propping up underneath the glute and quadricep and folding forward, or you're just staying upright for a moment here. You can have your hands on blocks, or you can maybe even try to bring your hands to your heart. Maybe the fingertips are still just on the earth. So find your variation here. Taking a couple deep breaths. One more full round of breath here. If you have folded forward, come back up to your palms. From here, downward facing dog, stepping your left foot back. Inhale, reach left leg up and back. Exhale, bend your left elbow. Feel that openness in the left hip flexor. An option to come into Wild Thing on this side, so letting the left foot lower, right leg is straight, lifting the hips up. One more inhale. Exhale, back to down dog. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower down to your knees. We're going to come all the way down to the belly. And just take a little bit of a Locust Pose here. So keeping the arms to the sides of the body. Taking a full breath in. Deep breath out. As you inhale, start to lift the heart and toes off of the ground, reaching the fingertips back. Imagine you're holding a ball between the palms. Keep your chin tucked in so that you have a neutral neck. Just using your back engaged here. One more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Now on this next locust, you have the option to come into bow. So if you'd like to try bow, maybe even half bow, you can just bend one knee, maybe bend the other, reaching outside edges of the feet, taking your full breath in, deep breath out, and either lifting up into locust or bow pose. So bow pose, inner thighs working towards each other. So we don't want the knees out past the sides of the body. We're really on our diaphragm here, so making sure that we're breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. You can keep your knees bent here and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Chin on the hands. Good. We'll come all the way back into our tabletop position, hands and knees. Swing onto one side of your hip. Bring your feet to the top edge of the mat. Using the core muscles here, hands either sides of the body. Inhale, lift up tall through the sternum. And exhale, just start to lower slowly down the mat. Once all the way down, coming into a bridge movement here. Stacking knees right over the feet. Tuck under the tailbone. And as you inhale, raise your arms overhead so the palms touch the back of the mat. As you exhale, bring your arms back, palms face down. This time we're going to bring the hips with us. So inhale, lift the hips up into bridge. Reach your arms overhead, backs of the palms touch the ground. And exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the hips into bridge, arms overhead. Exhale down. One more time, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Maybe that feels good to create big circles with your knees. You take into circles, go the opposite direction. And hug your knees into the midline of the body. Exhale, spinal twist to the right. So knees lower all the way down. Either big hug with your left arm. Maybe right hand stays to the outside of the left thigh as you reach that left arm out. If that feels okay in the shoulders, maybe both arms open out. So just making sure you have this C curve in your lower spine, knees draw in towards the belly button. Find your gaze where it's most comfortable. And just letting gravity assist with that left shoulder coming down. And take an inhale, hug the knees back into the midline of the body. Exhale, spinal twist to the left. Either big hug with your right arm or opening the arms out. knees back to the midline of your body. Exhale, send the soles of your feet down to the ground. Just start to make your way into the most comfortable final relaxation pose. So maybe you'd like to extend both legs all the way out. Maybe you'd like a blanket underneath your neck, low back, or knees. And to soften the space between your eyebrows. Relax down your jaw. Soften your throat. Tops of the collarbones. Relax your chest. Relax the back of your right shoulder. Right arm. Right hand. Relax the back of your left shoulder. Left arm. Left hand. Soften your upper back muscles. Middle of the back. And the lower back. Soften your stomach. You come back to a natural rhythm of breath. Relax your hips, right glute, right leg, right foot. Relax the left glute, left leg, left foot. Feeling ease in your body and completely relaxed. Slowly begin to bring awareness back to your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Any movement to your fingers and toes. Gently reach your arms overhead for a stretch. Pulling out your wrists and ankles. Hug your knees in. Gently roll to your favorite side. Enjoying just a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly come to a seated position.